Michigan lawmakers have passed a new state budget with the final details being hammered out at the Capitol late last night and into the early morning hours. We are joined by Governor Gretchen Whitmer. Governor, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. I want to get your initial thoughts and reaction to the new state budget.
I'm really pleased that we were able to get it done. It took longer than any of us would have wanted. It was hard negotiations. You know, we've got a Republican-controlled House and a Democratic-controlled Senate, and we all came at it with very different vantage points. But at the end of the day, we brought everyone together, found common ground where it mattered the most, and delivered a budget that is bipartisan and balanced and makes real investments in the things that are going to make people's lives better and helps people keep money in their pockets. So there's wins for everyone here.
Are there any items that you feel still need to be addressed after this budget was passed through?
Oh, there always are, right? I mean, always are. But, you know, we know how immense the issue is when it comes to funding our infrastructure. And for decades, we underfunded. Now we have made a substantial investment in our roads, and that'll impact local roads too. So it is something that Michigan people will be able to see in their daily commutes that this long overdue problem is finally getting addressed. I'm also very pleased with the education budget. I think that another historic investment in public education and protecting healthcare were two very important things to me, and those are also in this budget.
A lot was made about the time that it took to pass the budget this year. Obviously split chambers for the first time in a little while. Is that why it took so long to get the budget passed, or what was maybe some of the reasoning that you saw behind that?
Yeah, you know, I think that it's a very fraught time politically, right? We know that rhetoric is hot at all levels. You see what's going on at the federal government level. I'm just grateful that the two leaders here in our Capitol were able to get to the table and we could have conversations. They weren't always easy. They went late into the night, but ultimately we were able to find that common ground and deliver a product that is really focused on solving problems and helping people. You know, there's tax relief here for people who work overtime. There is, I think, long overdue investments in education and roads. So there are important things that we were able to accomplish by taking the rhetoric out of the room and staying at the table.
And you mentioned the federal government shutdown. How do you think that's impacting our state right now?
Well, we're early on in it. You know, I'm hopeful that it doesn't go too long. It's undeniable that, you know, we obviously have federal workers who live in Michigan who are now not, you know, are worried about whether or not they're going to get their paychecks. We have a workforce that we rely on, services from the federal government that we all rely on. And so every day that goes by, the harder it is going to be felt here at the state level. And so I'm continue to be hopeful that they look at what we were able to get done in our state with divided government and resolve their problems and put the people of America first as opposed to their individual agendas.
You have 15 months left now as governor, about 15 months left. Is there one thing that you still really want to accomplish? Is there something maybe at the top of your priority list as your time as governor comes to a close?
Well, there's a lot. You know, we've been working almost 24 hours a day, my team has, and we've all put in long hours to get to this point. I think everyone's going to take a little time off this weekend, watch the Tigers game, watch the Lions game, and then Monday it's right back at it because we got to start writing next year's budget. I want to make sure that Michigan does not cede our competitive edge when it comes to making sure that we're continuing to be a great place to do business and make investments and good paying jobs. And so we've got to make sure that we've got a good economic development toolkit, and that's something that we continue to need to refine. So that will take some energy, but I'll start writing next year's budgets and the state of the state next week.
And I got to ask you before you go, are the Tigers going to win this whole thing? How far can they go? Are you a big Tigers fan yourself?
Oh, you know, I love the Tigers. I remember the last time we were, you know, in the World Series. I mean, it's so fun to have a winning team, and it's been a little bumpy these last few weeks, but I'm hopeful that we can go out and beat the Mariners in Seattle.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Governor. I know you're very busy, and we appreciate you stopping by.
Thank you.